You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes?
I don't know. I would,
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit.
Should the human race survive?
People haven't got it yet. People haven't understood what's coming.
These technologies are dangerous societally.
The apocalyptic visions of AI. How real is the prospect of killer robots annihilating humanity?
20% likely.
It's like, I don't know how else you explain this to the American people. We're going to take your job. We're going to take away, you're going to eviscerate your ability to have money and power.
You know, I think AI will probably, most likely sort of lead to the end of the world. But in the meantime, there will be great companies created with serious machine learning.
We at the Futures Project think that there's a 70% chance of all humans dead or something similarly bad.
Whoa, you just, okay. All humans dead.
Correct.
This is this mega transition from biological to digital intelligence, from humans being the dominant species of the planet or the universe to not being. And we want that to go well.
You're playing with fire when the people building it have a score called the PDUN, which is the percentage chance that this ends in disaster. What's your PDUN number?
I'm relatively an optimist, so I think there's a 25% chance that things go really, really badly.
It all ends up being some version, humans are headed towards the glue factory like a horse. That sort of probably makes me want to become a Luddite too.
The AI is going to be in charge, to be totally frank, not humans.
So what we need to do is, as fast as possible, adapt people to using AI and find ways to create jobs faster than we destroy them.
We need a society-wide approach about how we're going to defend against this.
I don't think there's a way of stopping it take control if it wants to. The issue is, can we design it in such a way that it never wants to take control, but it's always benevolent?
Stupid. First, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Bahashim, Kakadash, the bonders of the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and a few sisters out there. Unto like foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. These are the most stupidest people on the planet Earth. I mean, my goodness. You give your strength, you give your all to nothing. And here it is, they know, but they don't know. Now the more I see this, the more I see how stupid these people that's ruining are. That's why when Solomon made his statement, he said, as he seen like it was an error from the creator. Matter of fact, let me get that. You really got to be the dumbest, retarded. Like, obviously, retarded means mentally slow. It just means slow. You know what I'm saying? Like slow. What's gonna get? Hold on. Ecclesiastes, I believe it's 10:5. So there is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceeded from the ruler. Now, who's the ruler that Solomon was talking about? Daniel 4:17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers. Who are the watchers? The prophets. All right, we are the watchers. Those that go out in the highways and byways. We measure the times by what the prophecy says. This is how we know this man is at his demise. He's at his end. And it says, and the demanded by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth to whosoever he will, and set up over it. The basis of men. So Daniel answered the question. Solomon asked a question. It's like, is this an error? You know, that's a statement. I'm sorry, it was a statement. Like, is this an error? But it wasn't an error. That's exactly how the Lord wants things to be. It says, folly set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. Folly, which when you go into it, I believe it should be Nabal here. No, Shakal, folly. That's what I was gonna say. Silliness, concentrate. Well, perfect. Silliness. Let me go to the original word for this right here. Shakal, to be foolish. Be a fool. To make foolish, turn in foolishness, to act or do foolishly. To do foolishly, play the fool. That's what Esau does. He played a fool. The number one thing we know that he said there's no God. All right. That's the number. Once that number one thing is crossed, it's you can't take that person serious. Right? It says strong definition to be silly, do make play the make play the turn into, and that's what exactly what the Lord did. The Lord made this man a fool. He's the basis of man. What do you expect? With such people that have so low vibration, spiritual vibration, what do you expect? See, that it's not about how much you know, it's what you know. All right? They know damn near every crevice you could think of. Science proves it. Science proves what? All science add to is just proves that the Most High exists. So all they do is just constantly prove that the Lord exists. And with all the steps that this man is doing, all he proves is that he falls right into the category of doing the will of the Lord. Prophecy. All right, the scripture says what? You can't do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. So you speak ill against the Lord, you fulfilling prophecy. You speak of the Lord, you fulfilling prophecy. You on a trick bag. Ecclesiastes 19:22. It says, the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, neither at any time the counsel of the sinners prudence. So that, and this what proves, it says there is a wickedness, the same an abomination, and there is a fool wanting wisdom. He that is small, he that hath small understanding and feareth the Most High is better than one that have much wisdom and transgress the law of the Most High. So you sit there, you consider everything that this man knows and how he does things and how great he is. He is nothing but a low spiritual individual. And the Lord take this cave dweller, this natural born cave dweller, this leprous dog, and put him in a position of power. And since he's been put in a position of power, he has not known how to rule because it's not meant for him to rule. All the statements that they made, knowing damn well hell you have no considered control over these things, proves how stupid they are. It says, I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. So he saw that. He literally saw of trading places. All right. But it's okay. Because the Lord's the same people that's in the low today is going to be in a high position. That's what the Lord promised. Proverbs 19:10. It says, delight is seemingly for a fool, much less a servant to have rule over princes. Much less to have servants rule this world. In fact, let me see what it says. Because they have no clue what the hell they're doing. Proverbs 30:1 says, three things that quiet the earth, which cannot be bared. Okay, this might be one. Good. It says, oh yeah, this is it. Proverbs 30:21. It says, For three for three things the earth is disquieted, and for four which it cannot bear. For a servant when he have reigneth, and a fool when he is filled with meat. So a servant, a natural born servant that reigneth, would do stupid things like this. Knowing them, they have no sort of power. This is why they're merging themselves with technology. All right? Because this is the only way they can reach a certain level. So they think. They'll find any other way to reach that level of immortality. Now, the name of the game for them is to diminish the population of the earth till their endpoint is 500 million because it's more controllable. How they get there is how they get there. That's their whole notion. So these devils are playing with fire. They're playing with their own lives. Okay, they worship things that they have no idea what is their capability. Matter of fact, the things that they worship, they fear more than the Creator himself, because they play right the role of the devil. They saying they're telling you, a certain percentage of people is gonna be diminished, giving you a heads up of what is their intention. This man is what is the definition of murder? The scripture says, "Thou shalt not murder." That's what when it says, "Thou shalt not kill." It's supposed to be murder, which is premeditated. So these people are nothing but natural born murderers. They already have a set number. How they get there is how they get there. This is why when you read the judgment that's going to take place for Esau is no joke. Matter of fact, Isaiah 14 and 20, it says, matter of fact, let me go up. Isaiah, let me get to the point. 18, we go 18 first. All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lay in glory, every one in his own house. So all these other nations in the kingdom of heaven, they're going to have their own land. They're just going to have to be, well, it's not going to be their land. It's going to be our land. But they're going to be mining for us, right? Except for whom? But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch. And as a remnant of those that are slain, thrust through with the sword, that go down to the stones of the pit, and as a carcass trotteth underfoot, that shall not be joined with them in burial. So you're not going to have a piece of the pie. You're not going to have any possession, because that's even servants have possession. But these servants, they're going to have nothing. All right? Absolute nothing. It says, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people, the seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. And that's what the scripture says. I love bringing this out. So they premeditated murder of billions of people. It says, Sirach 14 and 5, he that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. He's not going to be enjoying his new world order. He's not going to be enjoying the world that he thinks he's going to create. All right? Because he's massacring his own. The first subject, when Epstein did the things that he did, he said he didn't want to deal with no other nation but his own. So they know for killing their own. They know for sacrificing their own kind. All right? There's none there is none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is a recompense of his wickedness. And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwilling. And at the last, he would declare his wickedness, and you could clearly see that shit. Everything that he's doing is to utter destroy his own. This is why he's not gonna have no land. He's not gonna have no rulership. He's not gonna have a thing, a pot to piss in. All right, he's going to lose it all. You think we had it bad? Nah, Esau's gonna have it worse, and rightfully so. Amos 9, 11 or 12. It's 12. It says, in fact, Amos 9:11. And that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, which is all 12 tribes coming back under David. All right. And brothers, in this truth of ours, we represent the house of David. All right. The elect. Okay. And it says, and close up the breaches thereof, which is the differences. Okay. You Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the biblical Israelites. The breaches is the differences that we had, and which in this society is reinforced by the oppressor. Because why would he want us to be united? There's always division amongst Jake. He maintains that division to strengthen up his power. It's all about divide and conquer. So the Lord is changing. He's closing the breaches thereof. And so now I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as the days of old, with all 12 tribes together. And this is what they fear. The greatest fear that this man, so-called white man, has is that he don't fear AI, artificial intelligence. He don't fear nothing but the tribes coming back together. That's his nightmare. That's his nightmare scenario. That's why he have to put himself in a position of power in case everything that is written in this book comes to fruition. Because the day of reckoning is coming to this man. It says that they may possess the remnant of Edom, and all the heathen which are called by my name, save the Lord, that doeth this. And how is possessing Edom? But possessing their land. So they're not going to have anything. South of Jerusalem, which was once the land of Edom, is going to be taken because they're not going to have nothing. They don't need nothing. This man has been the worst ruler in history. Under this man, the world, they always have a clock down of the world ending, the whole planet Earth. Under these people, and the stupidity that the stupid things that they did, especially empowering AI, artificial intelligence, is amazing. Like, how stupid can you be? Every time I hear this shit, I just like shake my head and laugh. It's like, wait a minute. You mean to tell me you built something that can wipe you out? You know, when the kingdom come, and you don't consider that it's going to do you a favor for the time being. But what if you pose as a threat? What if you can't handle it? And even Elon Musk made a statement that the technology that they have looks at people as ants. Every time I look at these guys, I'm like, yo, you gotta be the dumbest fucking retards on the planet Earth. Stupid, stupid, stupid. But this is what happens when you have the basis of men. Now we see the evidence of what a base man would do. All right? It's all going to lead to his demise, his destruction. And the Wadi Yahweh Shem Yahshua, let him make some more stupid moves, which he is. I just did the show. They allow Saudi Arabia to enrich the uranium. They give them that technology, as a cautionary tale to have an ally to help them. But like the scripture says, they that eat that bread, they're gonna help destroy them. Because this man he's a bumbling retard. You're talking about a nation that can't get right? That's them. So that being said, shalom to the elected nation Israel. Shalom.